Alright, so at the time of recording, it is before Halo Infinite Season 2 has launched, but I probably won't get this published until after Season 2 is done. So, yeah, just bear with me. Alright, hello all, this is my Halo Infinite Season 1 multiplayer review. I will make a separate video of my campaign thoughts. Overall, the campaign, I love it. It's probably my favorite Halo campaign since Halo 3. It's that good. So yeah, it is just an all-time great campaign. Uh, Nothing really bad to say about it, but this review isn't part of the campaign, isn't for the campaign. So let's get into what this review is about, the multiplayer. So today I'm going to be talking about what went right, what went wrong. I'm going to give a little bit of an in-depth analysis of my total thoughts, and then a couple other things at the end, other thoughts on the game. So what went right with Halo Infinite Season 1? Well, it had great gunplay. There was no aiming down sights except for weapons with scopes, as has been tradition in Halo for the past 20 years, except for Halo 5, but that's neither here nor there. And it's Infinite managed to stand out from the other two major first-person shooters that launched in the same time frame as it. Call of Duty Vanguard and Battlefield 2042. Both of those had dire issues at launch, whereas Halo was polished, had very few bugs aside from a major desync issue, which should not be defended at all, and everything else just, it felt like Halo was a complete package, even though it was not complete by Halo standards. There was a balance to Sandbox. Going into Fiesta mode is one of my favorite modes because every weapon has a 50-50 chance of killing someone. Your skill determines the outcome. You can backpedal with the Disruptor against someone who has a grav hammer, and you probably will win. There's, again, 50-50 chance that you will win. And power-ups. These feel so great because the camera stays in first person while you're using a power-up. So it's not like with Halo 5 where if you used your shoulder charge or the dash move, how it would quickly jank out to third person and show you doing that. No, the thrusters, you stay in first person, you get a quick bust of energy. The drop wall doesn't really have an animation, and then the repulsor reflects things back at people. And the grapple shot, enough said, literally the best thing ever to come out of a Halo game. So what went wrong? Oh my word, what went wrong? Where do I start? How about modes? For starters, there was no dedicated Slayer tab at launch. For reference, Halo Infinite's multiplayer launched on November 15th of 2021, and we didn't get a Slayer tab until halfway through December, which was after the campaign had launched, because if you had remembered, the multiplayer went into early access before full release on December 8th. And, I mean, it's like, I just want to play Slayer with the boys. I'm not about to play Oddball and capture the flag 1,500 times before I even get a Slayer mode. That's just not fun. Those modes aren't fun when you're just wanting to relax and just, play some traditional team deathmatch. Quick play is honestly just an oddball playlist. There's literally nothing you do in quick play besides oddball or capture the flag, and you can't leave the match because you'll get punished and probably temporarily banned from matchmaking. This has been remedied somewhat. I think they adjusted the mode cycle rates or whatever it is to where it's not always oddball. I have gotten to the point where now it's more evenly matched, but I still hate going into quick play just because I don't like having a mode filter. And again, this should not be ignored that this stuff wasn't there, because even though it's there now, I mean, why wasn't it there at the beginning is the question. Ranked is really fun. Me and my friends, we like to play solo duo matchmaking, so freelance, if you're a Destiny person like me. And we usually play on controller, but sometimes I'll play on keyboard and mouse. Um, there was no anti-cheat. There is no anti-cheat in this game. And I don't know why that is. The game still can't be played on Steam Deck, despite its lack of anti-cheat. And I feel like this is something that really needs to be fixed. Because I don't mind about balance patches and stuff like that. That's fine. But that can wait until I'm not getting rolled by people on PC in the crossplay pool. That's just not even fun. So I didn't even complete all my ranked placement matches. Another point I forgot to add under ranked pain was, like, why is there forced crossplay? Because, I mean, I get that people on Xbox and PC are going to want to play together, but PC already has an incredible advantage. I just started playing Halo on PC recently, and it's literally click their head to with the sniper and you win. Now, I'm not a big PC gamer. I've been playing on consoles my whole life, so that was news to me. But I'm pretty sure any PC gamers watching this are gonna be like, "Yep, that's how shooters are." So just bear with me and realize that I'm kind of coming from an outsider's perspective. Um, Another thing with ranked is they really need to adjust the amount of placement matches from 5 to 5 from 10, because 10 placement matches and half of them being capture the flag, you realize how much of a time investment that is to even get a rank. And a lot of the times I don't even want to play ranked because you're not progressing as much in ranked unless you're doing dedicated modes to your challenges, which again, I'll get into that later. The mid-season refresh wasn't even a refresh. It was literally just balance patches, adjusting some weapons, which you really even couldn't feel the adjustments. I think it was just mostly damage fall-off rates, which even then, those were so minuscule that you couldn't even feel them. And probably some networking fixes. I think the desync issue has been a little better since that mid-season refresh, but it's still just a little present there, if you get what I'm saying. Also, Big Team Battle was unplayable for almost 3 months. It went fine rolling into beta, but as soon as beta ended and they put out the campaign, it was almost like putting the campaign into the game took out Big Team Battle. Because no matter what I did, I would try to matchmake for Big Team Battle, and it just wouldn't work. It would say I had a bad internet connection, which clearly I didn't because I was talking with friends in the party, and I was online even, and so what I would do is I would restart the game. Big Team Battle still doesn't work. Okay, restart my Xbox, still doesn't work. And then eventually it got to the point where I just gave up and was like, you know what? I won't even try it. So, in-depth analysis, as you can see this beautiful picture of Doge, I will be speaking over this. So, what I think went wrong with Season 1, and what went right with it, but there was so much more that went wrong than right, in my opinion, is this was 343's first attempt at making a traditional live service game. And when I say that, I mean how Master Chief Collection was not a live service game until much later into its life cycle. When they released it on PC, that was when they started adding seasonal content to the game, adding new stuff. It almost feels like Master Chief Collection is getting more support than Infinite, because Master Chief Collection gets so much content on a seasonal basis. And Infinite's just like getting fed the scraps, when Infinite is supposed to be the pristine, premier Xbox game to play. And right now it just doesn't even feel like it. It just feels like an indie Halo game. Another thing that I think went wrong with 343 is their constant excuses and incompetence. Now, people have hammered this point to death, literal death, but it just can't go without saying that this team is clearly incompetent and can't work on this game. And I say that with love because I have loved this franchise since I started playing in 2016. I started out in the Master Chief Collection, I played through all the campaigns, and then I started playing through the multiplayer, and it was just like, this is such a breath of fresh air for me, even though these games are so dated in terms of age. And it was just like, wow. I can't believe that they have dropped the ball so much with this one. I will admit that even Halo 5 looked promising at launch. For as bad as that campaign was, the multiplayer was on point. Aside from traditional FPS mechanics, which, again, I've already covered, um, it had constant content, a nice content flow, and they had less employees when they did Halo 5 than when they've done Infinite. And so now, when someone says something about that, a dev would chime in and say, "Oh, that was we can't do that anymore because that put us under extensive crunch." Okay, that may be, and I'm sorry for that, but at least the players were getting content. I don't think that video game devs should have unlimited time off. You're at your job to do your job, which is to create a product and sell it to people. And currently, Halo is not doing any of that. I turned to Halo because I was burnt out with Destiny for right now, because I've completed everything there is to complete in this season, and it's like right now just the waiting until the end of May when we finally get season 17. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna hop into some Halo. This will be relaxing, and that's just like again, I started feeling burnt out the minute I got on there because I hadn't played Halo since Witch Queen launched back in February because I was all Destiny then. And nothing had changed. I was like, I've gone completely silent on Halo. I haven't even paid attention to 343. And all all we've gotten is a minor balance patch. Okay. Whereas we have Bungie over here with Destiny, who's pumping out balance patches every like other week, it seems. They're constantly looking for things to fix. And I know Bungie is a bigger studio than 343, but there are smaller teams that are consistently putting out live service. Sledgehammer Games, I think, is around the same size as 343, maybe a little smaller. For as bad as Vanguard is, I will admit Sledgehammer is not willing to let it die, and that's probably Activision's doing. But they keep working. They've got the Godzilla crossover coming up in a few weeks. They've got all sorts of stuff that's just coming to the game, and that's great. We needed a roadmap, and then when 343 is hyping up their roadmap, they're like, "Oh yeah, we had to delay it, but don't worry, you're gonna be so impressed when you see our roadmap." And it's like, um, what's here? Two new maps, two new modes. One's not even gonna be at the season's launch. I mean, at least we got the big hype was for that we now have release windows for co-op campaign and Forge beta, which are August and September respectively. But even the co-op campaign is internet only. You can't play on split screen, which was something they promised for launch with split screen co-op campaign. So I don't know what is happening. I know this game has been through the ringer in terms of staff changes, employee turnover. 343 has not had a good track record with that. But that is personally how I feel this game has gone so far. I'm hoping that Season 2 remedies a lot of these issues, but right now it's looking very bleak, and it just looks like Halo was dead on arrival despite me holding out my last sliver of hope for it because the trailers were so awesome, and then we got this. Heroes of no content, obviously a play on the seasonal title, Heroes of Reach. There's no new modes, and the Slayer playlists don't even count. Because when you have to hype up Slayer is coming as a standalone tab for matchmaking, you've got some issues. Because any shooter that doesn't launch with Team Deathmatch as its own mode is like, is it even a shooter at all? Fractures were a joke. So, Fracture Tenrai was the only fracture we had this season. And I like the idea of fractures. It's a way that maybe if 343 can convince Microsoft to maybe get some crossover armor in there from other games, they could do that. Because fractures are non-canon, and we got some pretty cool samurai armor from it. But all you did was add Fiesta as a playlist, and then took it away after the first weekend, or week, rather. and we don't have it anymore. It's like, what the heck? We finally got Fiesta Slayer back, but when you have to hype up core modes from these games in the past, and then you bring them back here, it's not even good. I'm losing myself because this game is so hard to talk about without getting mad. Progression issues. You feel punished for playing this game. Like, when it started out, 50 XP per match. Oh, that's so people don't have the ability to grind out battle passes before everyone else. Okay, why would you care about someone grinding out the battle pass? Oh, I know. It's because let's see here. You've made this a 6-month season, and we've gotten literally nothing all season except balance patches and challenge updates. That's all. And they don't even make it a consistent flat rate. Sure, we'll be willing to sort of come to a compromise here. How about for your first match you get 300 XP, your next two 200, your next one 100, and then all the rest 50. Does that sound good? No! Give me a flat rate of 200 XP per match and let additional challenges do their thing. Because that way you're still making relative progression through the battle pass. It's a flat rate that is not too much, not too little. It's right there in the middle. And I can make a rhyme at any time. Staple modes, gone. King of the Hill, gone. Infection, gone. Co-op, gone. Forge, gone. Every one of these modes has been in every previous Halo game, barring 5, because I did not have that one at launch. Every previous Halo game at launch. And you're telling me you can't put it in this game? Now, I have heard rumors that the Forge in this game is going to be extremely ambitious, but that's still no excuse. You reportedly started working on this game in 2016, right after Halo 5 launched. Started prototyping. If main development didn't start till 2018, and you had a release date of 2020, I'm positive all this could have been ironed out and launched in 2020. The only reason they delayed it is because they were incompetent and weren't keeping to deadlines, and then COVID came around, and they saw that as the perfect excuse to delay it. Because why else would they delay it during that time? Game delays were like few and far between in that time until COVID came around. Incompetent dev responses I've already talked about. I can't even go into that again without ranting. But alas, I love this franchise, so there is still hope for the future. King of the Hill is coming back for Season 2. I hate to sound excited for that. But, I mean, hey, I love King of the Hill. And we got new modes incoming, like Land Grab and Last Spartan Standing. Land Grab, I think, is a big team battle variant. And then Last Spartan Standing is sort of a Battle Royale light mode. So it's got Battle Royale and gun game elements as far as I can tell. It looks cool. I hope it does well. I hope this game turns around and does well, because that, at the end of the day, that's all I want for this franchise, is for it to be the best it can be. But right now, the current leadership of the franchise just doesn't feel like they're making progress towards that goal. Co-op is finally arriving in August. Forge is finally arriving in September, and the Battle Pass is getting earnable credits and a progression revamp. So technically, you only have to pay for one Battle Pass, and then you can basically unlock all the others for free. So that is the end of my Halo Infinite Season 1 review. Leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I look forward to reading them. And until next time, stay healthy, and we'll see you again soon.